So my question to you is, if your goal is to play like fast, heavy metal riffs, then why are you spending a bunch of time learning like scales and chords and memorizing a bunch of theoretic ideas? I've been playing guitar for over 20 years, and it wasn't until like a year and a half ago that I finally asked myself that same question. If Matt Heafy's not playing pentatonic scales to a metronome, and Dimebag Darrell never learned the sus2 add 9 suspended 17 arpeggio on the third position, then why the fuck am I? Because all I want to do is write fast, heavy riffs like this. And everything can be simplified in 3 steps. So that's what this video is about. This is my 3-step process on how to write amazing, badass metal riffs on the spot. Let's get into it. So first step is going to be to learn, practice, and master the essential techniques that go into making a great metal riff. So the most common ones are going to be down picking and palm muting, aggressive alternate picking, tremolo picking, power chord riffing more for thrash metal, pinch harmonic, and then drone riffing for like the kind of 2000s metalcore, like As I Lay Dying style riffs. And I'm sure I'm missing a bunch, so go ahead and put them in the comments, whatever you guys can think of. So that's going to be first, but as a beginner, if you're just starting to play guitar, your first like 2 to 4 months should just be focused on learning the first 4 that I had talked about, which are down picking, palm muting, string skipping, and aggressive alternate picking. So the second step is going to be learn some of your favorite metal riffs from the bands that you like to listen to. And this is a crucial step for obvious reasons, but specifically you want to pay attention to how those techniques that you just learned incorporate into these riffs, and how the style riff that you like uses these techniques to create amazing music. So there's a few ways that you can learn riffs and songs. First way is to learn from just listening to it and playing it by ear. This is probably not the best option for somebody that's new, mainly because there's kind of a lot that goes into producing a song. So there's a lot of different guitar tracks. It's kind of hard to differentiate like what guitar is playing what, especially when you incorporate like drums and bass and vocals and whatever else may be in the song. It's kind of hard to hear exactly what like one guitar specifically is doing. They do have apps these days to where you can take each individual instrument and split it up to where you can hear just the guitar, just the bass, or just the vocals. But I still probably wouldn't recommend this way at first. If you do have a great ear for music, then eventually this might be the route that you go and the best way for you to learn riffs. And it is a great exercise for anybody to practice, but it's probably not the most efficient way to learn riffs, at least in the beginning. So the second way to learn some of your favorite riffs is to just watch somebody play them and then play back what you see. You can find most like popular riffs like a close-up of either the guitarist playing it or teaching it, or just like a fan or a YouTube playing it close-up or teaching it. And you can also like slow the videos down if you go, I think in the bottom right hand corner to the settings, you can slow the video down so you could see it like played half speed to make it easier. So that's a good option. And the third option would be to learn songs from tab, which I would probably argue that's the best way to do it. Tabs are very simple to read. That's always the way that I've learned songs and riffs, and that's generally the way that people that I knew growing up that were really good at learning other people's songs, they kind of just use the tab, because there's people out there that generally have a passion for like just listening to their favorite riffs and then like tabbing them out, and they do a great job. Sometimes there's like multiple guitars playing the same exact thing, so it's kind of hard to determine like what exactly is going on. So I would argue that a quality tab for like a popular riff that you find on like Songster or like Ultimate Guitar Tab is going to be as close as you're going to get to playing the song correctly. With that being said, don't worry about if it's 100% accurate or if there's like a note off or like you're not playing it in the same exact position. There's a lot of different ways to play stuff on the guitar with lots of different octaves. So don't stress too much if you're playing it exactly the way that the guitarist wrote it originally. Generally what I do is I'll just find the tab, the best tab with the best ratings, and then I will listen through the riff or the song, and then if it sounds right, I'll learn it that way. So the third step is to learn one of the 7 modes of music on just the bottom 3 strings here. And don't get discouraged because I'm telling you to learn some music theory. It's a very, very basic, simple idea. You don't need to learn much. All you need to understand is that there's a difference between a half-step interval, like between 1 and 2 frets, or a whole step interval, which is 2 frets apart. The Aeolian mode is a good one to learn. It's a natural minor scale as well. It's the same scale, and it's used in metal frequently, so that's a good one. Or you could do some research and try to find one of the other 7 modes that sounds better to you, or one that you like a little bit more, and then learn that one. And I would just learn one at first. Eventually you want to learn all of them, but just start off with one. And like I said, it's basically half steps and whole steps is what it's made up of. It's 2 half steps and 5 whole steps is basically what makes up all of these scales, just in different spots. So if you just learn the half step intervals, then you know that the rest are going to be whole steps. So you know the entire scale at that point. And if you learn it in a drop tuning, because we're only learning the bottom 3 strings, these 2 strings right here are the same, so you only have to learn it on 2 strings, and then you know all 3. And a lot of metal riffs use just those bottom 3 strings, so you can really do a lot with just learning one scale on those bottom 3 strings and understanding it. So when you learn this, learn it to where the root note is this low open string here. So whatever tuning you're in, if you're in like drop D or drop C sharp like I am right now, then drop C sharp is going to be your root note. So you can continue to come back to that, anchor off of that root note, which a lot of popular metal riffs do that. Then you can also incorporate other notes that work in that scale as well into your riffs, but you're able to come back to that root note very simply just by playing an open note. So now that you know the essential techniques that go into making a great metal riff, you understand how these techniques are used in a lot of the riffs that you really love, because you learned some of those riffs, and now you understand what notes go together to make a good sounding riff on the fretboard on just those bottom 3 strings. It's time to like put all these ideas together. So just take these 3 concepts and just start creating your own riffs and your own music with them.